Hey guys, what's up and welcome to Conspiracy Crashers. We are here right outside of Area 51 in Rachel, Nevada, and we've been watching a lot of the Bob Lazar Joe Rogan podcast. From the information given by Lazar, we have discovered something truly amazing. We have actually found the location of the S4 hangars. Stick with us while we show you the location and how we went about finding them. Hey guys, what's up? So getting right down into this, we've got some breaking news of the actual location of the S4 facility. We've noticed a lot of people over the past years, they've mentioned possible locations, they've shown some pictures of hangars in the mountains, and we'll show those right off the bat. But getting into Bob Lazar's recent podcast with Joe Rogan, he stated that there's 9 hangars side by side. One had a nuclear detonation, a very small nuclear detonation, when scientists cracked into the side of a active reactor in one of the flying saucers. They used a plasma cutter to cut open an active reactor, and it created a detonation. He said the size of a bunker buster. So we're looking for 9 hangars side by side, one with a detonation. He said there's a road that goes in front of him, which he took once to get to his hangar when it was open, and numerous times before he took a side road through double gates. So I mean, he's narrowing this down quite a bit. He also said that it's about 15 miles south of Area 51. So in the past, here's Las Vegas, in the past out here at Area 51, people have noted that there's some hangars out here about 2 miles south and probably like 20 miles to the west. And they said these are the Bob Lazar hangars right here. Like these 3 guys, this is it. They point right into a mountain range. That's where you're going to launch your first UFO that you don't know how to control, is right into a mountain range. So it doesn't really add up. Like he said, there's 9 in a row. There should be a detonation site. And he said also that they're very, very discreet. They're like, you cannot see them with the naked eye. As far as like, if you don't know they're there, you're not going to see them. So looking at this, there's tons of facilities around it. This large facility over here, there's roads every which way. There's roads going on top of them. I mean, like, this isn't very discreet at all. There's boxes and Conex boxes outside. I know people are very excited to see some holes on the side of mountains that look like hangars, and I don't blame them. I mean, when I saw this, I was pretty excited, so I don't blame them at all. But what we found today was just completely mind-blowing. So let's get on to that, how we found it. Let me just briefly, just so it makes more sense, let me just show you how exactly we found it. So we saw that, we're like, hey, he described to a T, we can find it. We'll find exactly what he said. If not, then we'll have some issues. And I mean, we had some naysayers in the group, but so we just sort of threw common sense at it. We're like, hey, you've got a bunch of top secret facilities around a Nevada test site. So you have an open range. They have tons of facilities. So you've got Area 51 over here. Down below, you've got Mercury. You've got Indian Springs with Creech Air Force Base. And then you've got the Yucca Mountain with the Nuclear Waste Management Facility, where they've got their own little discrete facilities in the side of the mountain where they encompass this whole mountain. They put nuclear waste in there through these holes that they've made in the side of the mountain. So they obviously have the technology to do it if anyone says they don't. So moving along, we're like, hey, they've got all these facilities. It's going to be in the center of this range. Like if you have your most top secret facility with UFOs, it's going to be in the center of this whole range. So again, Yucca Mountain there. And we started drawing up all these locations. You got Yucca Mountain, Mercury, Indian Springs down here. Then coming along the top, you've got Area 51, and you can't go any further north or east because you've got Rachel, Nevada, and the freeway. So everyone knows this is all public land. Everyone knows about Rachel, Nevada. So all this is open up. Like no one's going to put anything out there or like even off to the side. Like it's just too open. Like when you have all these possibilities, you've got the Tonopah test range up north, and then this whole open area. So why would you not just plant it somewhere in here? So that's what we were going upon. And then also, due to talking to people in the past, we know that all the employees for Area 51, for all the test sites, for most of them at least, they all take Mercury Highway. And Mercury Highway, it's pretty well known. You go from the 95 northwest, you pass through Indian Springs and Creech Air Force Base where they have all the little drones, these little guys right here, and continue along, and you'll have this little cutoff to the side, and it's a little security gate. You come out and you pass through the security gate with all these little contractors and Humvees right there. It's almost like going through a border, and then go through Mercury, and everyone on the test site goes through Mercury Highway, and you continue north, you break off, continuing north, and it's like, hey, it's got to be a branch off of this highway. So we're looking around this highway. It's not necessarily near it, but you should be able to see a road connecting to it. Because Bob Lazar did say that he went through the test site. So we're looking through it. We're coming north. We're like, wow, this road right here. Let's just check this out real quick. It's a very distinct road, so it must have been used a lot at some point. So we followed along to the north, and of course it goes straight to the obvious old hangars that everyone knows about. But we follow it back down to this large land excavation site that we've noticed earlier. So following the same distinct road back down, it makes no sense. Like, why do you have a huge land excavation site out here? Right in the middle of nowhere, and there's nothing being excavated anywhere near it. So, like, you're dumping dirt here from somewhere, from wherever you're mining it out of. And looking into it, like, a little bit deeper, you see it's a pretty large facility, but also all the equipment is, like, rusted out. So it's been here for a few years, for sure. 10, 15, 20 years, maybe more. Everything's rusted out, like all these support beams, and they've got, like, definitely mining gear, tunneling gear over here as far as burrowing into the side of the mountain. I believe a lot of people have seen with the, they put them on tracks and just mined into the mountain. So you've got a lot of that going on, and we're like, okay, well that's pretty important. So maybe we're on to something here. So we start following this road around, and just bear with me here. This part gets a little confusing. We follow this little road around, and it stays pretty, as far as like looking satellite-wise, it stays pretty easy to follow. It's pretty bold. So we follow it around. We come to this here. Nothing really extraordinary here. Follow this out. Just a weird little, just weird pathway. It's super smooth. We see this here. It's a little odd. It looks like almost like a vent in the side of a mountain. Looks like it's got a grate over it. And these look like they're possibly some holes or roadways leading into the mountain, depending on your angle. I know it's hard to see with Google Map imaging over 3D. It's like, okay, that's a little unusual. So again, we're dead center in the middle of all the test sites now. So if we zoom out, we're dead center. Here's Area 51, the nuclear bombing range, and then all the test sites down here at Yucca Mountain. So zooming back in, we're like, hey, this has got some potential here. So we zoom in, follow this up, and you come to this like plain plateau. It's like a flat area, and we start looking at it, and we're like, hey, we got some sort of box figures over here. Like, it looks like it could be man-made. It's not like adding up to the Bob Lazar image that he described. Like, it should be some easier. I mean, this road's pretty graded, and I mean, there's some electricity coming up. You see the electrical poles and the station down here. But the electricity's coming up, so they're running electricity up here. And like, okay, well, there's not much to it. It's just a flat area. Maybe we were thinking that if they're getting that advanced, like they can just make it look like the side of a mountain. Then I mean, we're just SOL. I mean, these look pretty natural. I mean, there is some right angles here, and we see a lot of dirt marks, track marks are going through into this area over here. Possibly a hole in the mountain. I mean, it is very mountainous. And then we see this road over here, so we follow that around, and we see it come up to this area. And this is where the shocking part came. So you have the roadway coming up. It's all covered in snow, the only snow area for hundreds of miles. And it comes to these 9 hangars, clear as day. You can count on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One's blown out, like it's had an explosion, possibly. I mean, who knows? But I mean, it's adding up to what Bob Lazar said. So there's a blown out area in the back. It's collapsed in the front. You can see the clear right angles in the shadows. I mean, it's obviously man-made. You can't deny that. These are all right angles. This is all boxy up here. You can just adding up the shadows with what we see overhead, you can make that it's a boxy structure. And you have a road going in front of all of them, all up to the last one that collapsed. And then you also have the other road that comes up down beneath and goes into what looks like a hole in the side of a mountain. So what else can we look at? Let's look at how far south from Area 51 this is real quickly, if we can. So here's let's keep an eye on that if you can. Let's go right up to Area 51. I know we're going to probably lose it a little bit, but let's see. Area 51 there. Bring it down straight south. And it's probably like, what, 15? That's equal 15 and a half, 15.4 miles south of Area 51. Bob Lazar said 15-ish miles south of Area 51, and that's like right there. They probably just didn't tell him how far west it was, just to keep him off track. I mean, they're not going to, like he said, they're not going to tell everyone everything. So here we have this facility on the side of the mountain, facing out directly towards Area 51 with a clear-cut path. Like, there's nothing obstructing it. There's no mountain ranges. It's very covert, and there's nothing around it. Odd imaging. It's very hazy around it, and there's snow on it. Like, why would you keep snow out of, like... There's no other imaging for hundreds, if not thousands of miles with snow-capped mountains when they all had snow at some point. Like, you just kept it right here. So here we have this 9-bunker facility in the side of the mountain that's very covert. I don't know, guys. You tell me what you guys think in the comments. I think we have something mind-blowing here. You let me know. If you like the video, please leave a like or follow. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.